Welcome to the Super Saturday debate with me, Akanksha Swaroop. Now, just ahead of the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly election, its former Chief Minister Omar Abdullah has stirred up the hornet's nest. This by questioning the execution of Afzal Guru. In an interview to ANI, Abdullah has stated, and let me quote, he says, "I don't believe any purpose was served by executing him," meaning Afzal Guru, one of the main conspirators in the 2001 Indian Parliament attack that left 9 people dead. He was hanged in February 2013 at Tihar Jail. Meanwhile, BJP has attacked the NC and Congress over Omar Abdullah's remarks and questioned that Rahul Gandhi must answer why is he supporting Omar Abdullah, who does not even accept the rules of the Constitution. Also, Home Minister Amit Shah has criticized the NC Congress manifesto, reiterating that till there's no peace, there will be no talks with Pakistan. Interestingly, for the first time in 25 years, Pakistan has publicly admitted its involvement in the 1999 Kargil war against India. An admission that too by its sitting Army Chief General Asim Munir. Now, General Munir's statement has again placed the Congress-NC alliance on a sticky wicket for promoting dialogue with Pakistan in its manifesto, and that is the National Conference's manifesto. That too, when BJP is claiming it stands vindicated about Pakistan's denial and duplicity, at a time the BJP's manifesto is promising to wipe out terrorism from Jammu and Kashmir. Is the NC Congress alliance politicizing terror for electoral gains? And is Omar Abdullah whitewashing terror?
I don't believe that any purpose was served by executing him. I don't. My unfortunate thing was that the J&K government had nothing to do with Afzal Guru's execution. Otherwise, you would have had to do it with the permission of the state government.
ओमर अब्दुल्ला जी की टिप्पणी पर मैं क्यों कुछ जवाब दूं? क्या अमित शाह जी, चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी की हर टिप्पणी पे जवाब देते हैं?
राष्ट्र विरोध जो तत्व हैं, इस प्रकार से इस पर टिप्पणी करना, ये माहौल बनाना चाहते हैं कश्मीर में और पूरा आतंकवादियों का समर्थन ले रहे हैं, तभी इस प्रकार की भाषा बोल रहे हैं।
कश्मीर में ऐसी सरकारें थी जो आतंकवाद के सामने आंख मूंद कर बैठी।
यकीनन पाकिस्तानी कौम एक जर्री और बहादुर कौम है जो आज़ादी की अहमियत को निभाना और इसकी कीमत चुकाना अहसन तरीके से जानती है। 1948, 1965, 1971 या कारगिल की पाक बहारत जंगें हों या सियाचिन का महाज, हज़ारों शहदा वतन की सलामती और हुर्मत की खातिर कुर्बान हुए।
All right, let me introduce our esteemed panelists today. I'm joined in by Ms. Shazia Ilmi, who's the national spokesperson for the Bharatiya Janata Party. I'm also joined in by Ahmed Ayaz, who's a political analyst, Dr. Nikul Patel, who's a leader with the Congress Party, also joined in by Mr. Vikram Singh, who's a former IPS officer. Many thanks to you, Shazia, and the gentleman for joining in. Ahmed, if I could begin with you. If Omar Abdullah says that it's, very unfortunate that it happened, he's against it, but his government had nothing to do with the execution of an Afzal Guru. And if his government, when it was in power, had nothing to do with the execution back then, why now?
Of course, to speak about it now is an issue, maybe because there is an political environment in the Jammu and Kashmir elections have been held. Maybe it would be to see that if he could get some benefit out of this, I perhaps feel. But to say that in any way the National Conference has been, in any way getting any advantage of the militancy, or they would like to see that they get an help, I don't think that's the case, because the National Conference themselves have been suffering, they have been victim of it. Many of their leaders have been killed. That's one. But as to why Umar Abdullah has said about it, and one is that election is there, and maybe he tries to get again, try to get benefit of it. And second is whether he has talked in the context that this is a capital punishment, because that's not clear as to what is. He has not made his mind clear about it. Whether it is just he's against it because it's a capital punishment and he's not in favor of that, or second, whether he is talking about the merits in the case that that he should not have been executed. I don't think. There is anything beyond that. But this need a bit clarification as to what exactly he meant by it. But this is certain that they will not be, helping terrorism by saying so, because they have themselves been voted.
Shazia
Maybe
Ilmi, all right, point taken. Shazia Ilmi, if Omar Abdullah says, and in fact he has said, that according to him, Afzal Guru's execution served no purpose. But what did he do about it? And many believe that Afzal Guru was served as a scapegoat to placate public sentiment. Whether or not you are in favor or against the capital punishment that was served to Afzal Guru is not the point I am discussing right now. The point I am discussing is what did he do about it, other than be a mute spectator when his government was very much in alliance with the UPA government.
Well, absolutely. And he was at the helm of affairs as a CM. I'm rather amused and half impressed by the heroic effort of the Congress spokesperson to give a spin to what Omar Abdullah has spoken about. And I know the gobbledygook that I just heard, clearly making it about capital punishment or not, and what it meant and what he was trying to say or not say, is not the question. It's all too obvious. What Omar Abdullah has said is use the Afzal Guru card, clearly trying to bring the narrative into the story, only because he is trying to play with fire and a certain kind of a sentiment associated with this, presuming, of course, that there are people still who align with the sentiment, considering that it was Omar Abdullah and on his watch that this had happened. And in fact, this is PDP's biggest grouse against him. So he should have known better and done better. But I think the problem is not, this is Omar Abdullah's majboori or political compulsion. I totally get it. What else do you do in the valley? But what does it say about the poor Congress party? The leaders are running helter-skelter. How does Congress party explain this Gathbandhan, this alliance, this dosti, this, discord that keeps happening between the two parties? And right now, with what face? No, let me finish. It's very important. It's just not about a debate. With what face will Congress party go now to the polls, not just in the valley, but all of Jammu and all of Maharashtra and all of Haryana? With this, kind of bugle that has been sounded out by Omar Abdullah on Afzal Guru, on Pakistan, on 370, on our Indian flag, and on reservation, which obviously go away, which were after 370 is ever abrogated again.
Right, but for now, I'd like the focus on Jammu and Kashmir with regards to also Pakistan and terrorism. I am going to bring you in on all the points that are being made right now, but Dr. Patel, I'd like to bring you in on the aspect. In fact, a very interesting comment has come in from Mr. Salman Khurshid. He's saying it's election time. People make such comments. Does it not indicate electoral gains?
See, firstly, I would like to say that Congress had never supported terrorism and would never support.
I totally agree. I have a list of comments that had come back in 2013 from Mr. Sushil Shinde to Mr. Naveen Jindal, who was a Congress MP back then, to even a Manish Tiwari, who was, by the way, the Information and Broadcasting Minister. They have all condemned Afzal Guru and they have completely supported the decision to execute him. Why the silence now? Why the radio silence?
Okay, there is no radio silence. As we all know that Valley is into election, and the main objective of the Valley is right now is to remove the presidential rule, whatever Bharatiya Janata Party has forcefully imposed on the Jammu and Kashmir. And we as a Congress always works for the basic rights and benefits of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and that is the only objective Right now, what we are into in Jammu and
Isn't
Kashmir.
security of the people of Jammu and Kashmir a basic right?
That is also important. Law and order is also an important parameter of any state, whether it is Assam or Jammu and Kashmir. We are not like that. The chief minister is himself is speaking that it's a matter of death and alive. If a CM is not safe in his own state, who else will be like that? So I think that we are bringing the statehood of the Jammu and Kashmir by contesting election. National conference may be having its own, but we are with the objective that
There
the
you
statehood
go.
must be restored to the Jammu and Kashmir people.
Shazia.
There you go. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I think, Omar Abdullah has put poor Rahul Gandhi and all his soldiers in such a mess, I don't know from where do they go from here. Can they even come to Jammu? One thing is the valley. And you kind of, I don't believe there's any sentiment associated with this because Kashmiris know a naya daur, a new Kashmir. But forget about that. Even if you want to contain it and relegate it to Kashmir, these are different times. Can you bring it to Jammu? Can you take it to Maharashtra? Can you run it in Haryana? How on earth will you do it? How will you ever get over it and live this down? Because this says many, many things. It is not just about Afzal Guru, but this stands for many, many things. When you sign up with an Omar Abdullah and whose manifesto is about and the dream about bringing and reimposing 370, where do you stand with the constitution? Because the first time in the history of the state, now a UT, that you have an election under the Indian constitution and not J&K state constitution. This is the very first time. So where does Congress stand on that is the question.
No, where does Congress stand on that, and why isn't Congress defending its decision to have executed Afzal Guru? Clearly what Omar Abdullah is saying is that he was made a scapegoat. He's also referred to the kind of mystery that was shrouding that entire decision. There were clemency pleas which were rejected, which have also been talked about in the past. He's also said that this was not a political decision, clearly alluding to the fact that Congress party was trying to outdo the BJP with an eye on the 2014 election. It's time that Congress defends that decision that it took back then in 2013.
Absolutely.
Dr. Patel, I want you in on this. Please, Shazia can go on, but where you need to defend your party.
See, I think Bharatiya Janata Party wants to create a narrative and that doesn't even happen in 2024 Lok Sabha.
अरे पर आप मेरे सवाल का तो जवाब दीजिए.
अरे मैं वही दे रहा हूँ ना, आपके सवाल का ही जवाब दे रहा हूँ. बराबर है. She is telling that we are nothing nowhere. So I would like to answer that where you are, that people have told you in 2024, no of your Hindu Muslim is going to work, no of your Article 370 is going to work, no of your terrorism is going to work, no of your Pakistan is going to work. People of the country has realized that how you are going to rule the country. We as a country,
exactly,
we as a party,
70% of
we
70%
don't try to interrupt. Don't try to interrupt. I am not
Shazia, let him make his point. I have requested Dr. Patel to make a point. Shazia, let him finish.
See, this is not the way, Shazia, to come into between.
Dr. Patel, please
have a patient solution.
Hmm.
See, people of the country has realized that their basic objective is to have food, education, health, and their own priorities. But Bharatiya Janata Party always have a vote bank politics of Hindutva, 370,
what is
terrorism. I don't understand why you want to put the things in the life of the people like this. People have understand you very well and they are giving you the Jakara in 2020.
No, I think you're giving an answer to some other question, sir.
I'm answering the same question. You are telling that
specific, sir.
No,
sir, don't go all over the place.
By the word that you are telling poor Congress.
Be very specific.
The BJP is now becoming poor because you are now
No, sir. It's question 5.
You have lost your objectives. You have lost to your now it's a Jammu.
Mr. Vikram Singh, I just want to ask something. When Omar Abdullah made that statement in that interview to ANI, what came to my mind was, what did he think about all those 9 deceased who had lost their life during the attack at the heart of India's democracy, that is the Indian Parliament? What about the family of that CRPF Jawan, Kamlesh Jatav? That family, in fact, returned the medal. Isn't Omar Abdullah concerned about the family of those deceased who lost their lives on that dreadful day when the parliament was attacked? What about that CRPF's Jawan's family?
Akanksha ji, good evening. I must compliment you for an extensive homework and your incisive questions, and many of us have no answers and clueless about your questions. The fact of the matter is that it is extremely irresponsible. A statement catering only to vote bank politics reminds me of Afzal hum sharminda hai, tumhare qatil zinda hai. And I'm not satisfied. Your satisfaction, sir, is irrelevant because of the fact that the honorable courts and the Supreme Court are in the picture, and that is what matters, the constitutional arrangement, not your whims and fancies, and also pandering to the local politics and also giving cover fire to whom? To a veteran of JKLF and JEM who attacked the temple of democracy. To your subsequent question, Akanksha ji, it bleeds my heart, and I'm not alone. The country bleeds its heart for our fallen soldiers and who gave the supreme sacrifice, their families, not a word, because it is not lucrative. It is not perhaps giving adequate dividends. Therefore, why waste time? Our political friends are extremely street smart. They know where the dividend lies, and they will only focus on things that give you some votes. What a pity and what a tragedy. Salman Khurshid Sahab, one of our seasoned politicians, said, these statements come in the days of politics. I wish you had subscribed to the dictum that I may win or lose, my country should not lose. Akanksha, it is a tragedy that we should not pander to this kind of whimsical and eccentric ideas just to garner a few votes.
And that's exactly what we are doing. Ahmed Ayaz, isn't that what's very clear from the NC manifesto, where they are talking about promoting dialogue with Pakistan, where they are talking about promoting trade across the LOC? What explains that too at a time when General Asim Munir has in fact gone on record to, for the first time, acknowledge Pakistan's direct involvement in the Kargil War of 1999 for the first time after 25 years. It is that very Pakistan which tried to destroy India that we want to engage in dialogue with. And that's fine. Let peace prevail. भाईचारा कायम रहेगा, अमन कायम रहेगा. Mr. Ayaz.
No, there is something, there is nothing like that they have not been involved in Kargil war. It's not now they are talking, because it was known that time also when Musharraf was...
Yes, Mr. Ayaz, but General Musharraf made that acknowledgement only after he had left office, as did Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, but they had all left offices. It is a volume of a difference. You do realize that when a sitting army chief makes that statement or that admission, it has that's going on official records.
No, it's
we've had books written.
Point is that what the general has said today is not something new, because that time the army from the other side had been in direct confrontation. It's not that it's not known. It's known that they were directly involved, but that's not the point. Point is what Omar Abdullah is saying about peace talks, etc., etc. I say that the Kashmir has been now undergoing the disturbance situation for last 33, 34, 5 years, and that the forces and the army or the whatever military forces, they have been doing their best. It's not that they have relaxed anywhere. They have made their own comebacks, and they have done what you call aggressive kind of operations, which perhaps has brought the situation to this level. At least you are holding elections, at least a lot of participation is done.
All right. I want to quickly bring in Shazia. Shazia,
I want to say something very small and something very important.
And then I have a question for you.
Yes, I really want to bring this to your notice. Bharat tere tukde honge, inshallah, inshallah. Bharat teri barbadi tak jang chalegi. We heard that Kanhaiya Kumar was their candidate. Even forget about that. Maybe he was supporting people who were chanting this. But do you see the seriousness of this? Afzal hum sharminda hai, tere qatil zinda hai. Kaun wo qatil hai? Supreme Court hamara kis par attack hua tha? Hamari parliament par. What can be worse than this? I mean, this is, I don't know what else to say. And you stoking this at this point of time? And you're presuming that there would be certain Muslims who would be a part of it. I want to speak as a Muslim, not as a member of any party.
That's exactly what I was coming to.
That is exactly.
Inshallah, inshallah. Inshallah means let it happen, and in praise of Lord, and that God will make it happen. I do not think any Muslim in India subscribes to that.
Any Muslim.
So I totally condemn Omar Abdullah for being part of a gang and presuming that Muslims think like this. Muslims do not think like this.
Shazia, the allegation or the major charge coming in from the NC and Congress is that through the abrogation of Article 370, the BJP has done away, or rather stripped the rights of the people of Kashmir, not to forget the fact that they are also scared that BJP is also in a state of panic because of the alliance between National Conference and, of course, the Congress party, which is why you are resorting to such kind of politicization. Your thoughts?
I think Congress party has done itself in. I think this is so unsettling and disturbing on so many levels. I am absolutely, I am distressed with the fact that Omar Abdullah, in his utter desperation, is using this card to give us impression that really he would get support on this. And we're talking about which party? We're talking about National Conference, which once upon a time used to be, Muslim Conference. So we know the history and antecedents of this party. Nobody is, in fact, this is such a sad way to do damage to Congress party, which is why Salman Khurshid has no choice but to say, oh, these things are said sometimes during elections. But this just shows the desperation of National Conference. And not just that, you just see what has happened in Jammu and Kashmir. I mean, for the first time, there are elections under an Indian constitution. It's so important to say that. With one flag, just one flag, and no other but the Indian flag.
All right.
For the first time, I mean, this is historic. And to say this at this moment in time, and to talk about and even wish that article, and in fact, Article 370 and 35A was what came in the way of true freedom. This is Asli Azadi. This is Asli Azadi that Kashmiris have always wanted. And this is what has brought them in. Whether it's reservation, how do you get reservation?
All right.
Rahul Gandhi talks about reservation. I mean, don't you find it absolutely a contradiction and a shot in your own arm or your own foot when you want to be with National Conference, which wants to...
Dr. Nikul Patel, I want to quickly bring you in for the sake of all those leaders who, some of them are with us and some are not with us. I want you on record to condemn what Omar Abdullah has said. Do you not agree that this is anti-national, what he said?
Yeah, definitely it is to be condemned. But I would like to say over here that it is Bharatiya Janata Party is telling that we are conducting the election. I would like to say that they don't want to conduct the election. It was the Supreme Court judgment that has brought into the compulsion to this government to bring statehood back to the Jammu and Kashmir. Right now, the matter is Jammu and Kashmir election. Now, Ladakh people are, Sonam Wangchuk is also sitting on Dharna. Why they are not listening to him? They also want that they should go on all these things.
It is a Supreme Court.
It is a Supreme
All
Court.
right, I don't want to veer away from the topic of the debate. The topic of the debate was whether or not terrorism is being used as a political tool to gain electorally, and I'm glad that we all have in fact stuck to the topic. Here's hoping that the elections in fact proceed very peacefully and that eventually statehood also arrives to Jammu and Kashmir. Many thanks to you, Shazia, and the gentlemen for joining in on the Saturday debate. And with that, it's a quick wrap from my end. Thank you so much for watching.